Epilogue. And I only am escaped, alone to tell thee. Job. The drama's done. Why then here does anyone step forth? Because one did survive the wreck. It so chanced that after the Parsi's disappearance, I was he whom the fates ordained to take the place of Ahab's bowsman. And when that bowsman assumed the vacant post, the same who then on the last day 3 men were tossed out from the rocking boat was dropped astern. So, floating on the margin of the ensuing scene, and in full sight of it, when the half-spent suction of the ship reached me, I was then but slowly drawn toward the closing vortex. When I reached it, it had subsided to a creaming pool. Round and round then, like the ever-contracting towards the button-like black bubble at the axis of that slow-wheeling circle. Like another Ixion I did revolve, till, gaining that vital center, the black bubble upward burst, and now, liberated by reason of its cunning spring, and, owing to its great buoyancy, rising with great force, the coffin life buoy shot lengthwise from the sea, fell over and floated by my side. Buoyed up by that coffin for almost one whole day and night, I floated on a soft dirge-like main. The unharming sharks they glided by as if with padlocks on their mouths. The savage sea hawks sailed with sheathed beaks. On the second day, a sail drew nearer, and picking me up at last. It was the devious cruising Rachel that, in her retracing search after her missing children, only found another orphan. This is the end of the epilogue, and this is the end of the Moby Dick. So we have Ishmael, who was tossed out of Ahab's boat, which normally would have been a bad thing, but since Moby Dick came around, it wrecked Ahab's boat after, hanging Ahab and sinking the Pequod. That was actually kind of a good thing. And as the ship went down, it spun down in a little vortex, and then the life buoy popped off from the back, which was Queequeg's coffin, and Ishmael climbed onto it. Now, there's a lot of closure in this. There's a lot of things coming full circle, where Ishmael clung to Queequeg's coffin, and the two of them met and shared a bed and were close friends for, the year and a half that this took. They were close friends. And so here in death, Queequeg went down with the ship, but Queequeg's coffin actually kept Ishmael alive. So, there's this really tight kinship there. And Ishmael was the only one to survive. Now, it starts out with a quote from the book of Job. And Job is a book in the Bible, and it's one of my favorite ones. And Job tells a story of a good man who had misfortune. And he had misfortune through no fault of his own. Satan came in and meddled in his life. And Job was absolutely miserable. I mean, his family died, all of his stuff was taken away, stolen, and then he caught this horrible disfiguring disease and was in hideous pain. So here he was. He started out rich, healthy, with a large family, and then all his children were killed, and his goods were lost, so he ended up being broke and homeless and had these sores and he was hating his life. And he was like, curse the day I was born. Curse the day my father looked at my mother. But he's like, God is still good. And his friends were like, you should curse God and just die. Job's like, no. God is good. And so through all of his misery, and Job was just like, what did I do wrong? Tell me what I did wrong, and I'll do my best to undo it. But just let me know what I did wrong. And it turns out that Job didn't actually do anything wrong. And so at the end, everything worked out for Job, which is, one of those great stories where it's like, okay, everything is miserable. and things go miserable, and it's just a bunch of his friends just being not good friends. The whole most of the book is a bunch of his friends just being not good friends. And at the very end, he talks to God, and God is like, it happened for reasons. And, there is so much more out there that you don't understand that, is just beyond your knowing. And, it happened for reasons. But Job got restored in the end. And so his life at the end was even better than it was at the beginning. And so, yeah, that was one of those things. And here you have Job. Here you have Job starting out with. Here you have Moby Dick ending out with a bit of Job with, at last, I am the only one left. And Ishmael was the only one left, and that must have been a pretty horrific couple of days because here he was, everybody is gone. He's out in the middle of the Pacific, and there is no one around. But fortunately, there's the Rachel, who was looking for the missing boat and didn't find it, but did happen to save Ishmael. So I hope you enjoyed listening along as I read Moby Dick. I hope you enjoyed it.